When do you trade value of design for money, and when do you trade value of design for another trade? And kind of this whole social media trading aspect of photographers trading with designers and designers trading with people in marketing, and so forth.
Okay, so you're saying we can trade, when do you trade design for money versus can you trade design for other people's services or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every designer needs to answer that for themselves based on how they perceive the value of whatever the person wants to trade you back. Now, okay. I have a client back in the middle of the recession. It was like 2009 or something. And they needed a website and a logo and stuff. And it was a beefalo butchery,
yeah.
Buffalo plus cow mixed meat. Anyway, they didn't have enough money to pay for all the services. So they said, hey, can we pay for some of it in beefalo meat? We'll fill your freezer with beefalo meat.
And did you take it?
Well, yeah, we accepted it. We never got the beefalo. So that's another story. I know, for real. It's like the lowest end trade of all time. And we never even got the...
You're going to have to call them up and be like, I think I have a late invoice on you guys.
Seriously.
I need to collect.
Yeah. So people will trade crazy stuff. They'll try and trade you crazy stuff. And you have to look at it and say, does that have value to me that I would want whatever they're trading? As for me, 99.9% of my career, I am happy to trade my services for their money, because that is really what has the most value. I would have cash flow need for my business. I had employees. I couldn't pay my employees in beefalo meat. I needed to pay them with cash. So that's how I traded it. What is most important, though, is it needs to be a value for value exchange. Mm-hmm. So I have no problem with somebody doing trading services, but whatever they're trading you has to have appropriate value for what you're trading to them. And then I say go for it all day long. Yeah. But that's the question you'd have to ask yourself. Does this have enough value to me for me to give them my time to make their thing?
Yeah. Well, then on going into that, how would you say that when you have a lot of pushback for trade, how do you end up saying no without ruining that business relationship?
Okay, so the client wants to trade you and you don't want to trade. You want to just do work for money?
Mm-hmm. How do you keep that, not sever that relationship, but you want to still keep that in a good standing, but without saying, hey, I can't really take this for, this trade, service, or product?
Well, here's the deal. You're the one in control. And designers, we forget this all the time. We feel like we're the needy person. We're the needy person in the relationship. But the truth is that we have complete control over the relationship. And we can say, I will do what you want, but here's how I want to price it. Here's how I'm going to invoice it. And here are the payment terms. And you have to accept that. Mm-hmm. And then the client has to respond and say, okay, yeah, I guess I have to accept that. But a lot of times designers, we think that we're the one in need. And so we get this insecurity going on. Take, for example, going and buying a car. You go there, they dictate all the terms.
Yep.
You can't say, hey, I have this car and can I bring you a freezer full of beefalo meat and $10,000? Will you take that? You'd never do it in a million.
They would never do that.
No, but as designers, we think that we should potentially accept any kind of trade that a client wants to give us. And the fact is, we have to stand our ground. If you don't want to work for a trade deal and only want to work for money, then craft your proposal and give it to the client. And if the client is frustrated that you won't take their trade, then let them go and trade their buffalo meat to somebody else, because you don't have to take it. You are in control of your business. The client does not dictate the terms.
Amazing. It's great.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's so important, and we get so insecure. I mean, designers, we're the worst. It's the worst because we go through our entire lives with people critiquing our stuff. So
day one from school, you're put in the spot. Here's a room full of 20 people. Put your work up there and let's everybody talk about it.
Exactly. And then you take it personally because you just made it with all your heart and soul. And this insecure breed of people. And we have to make sure that we at least muster enough confidence to stand our ground on pricing terms and how we want to value our work and how we want to charge our clients. You gotta. I found
there's a big variation between, in those people that I was in school and now, is that there's a lot of like those passive people who are not pushing for their goals and their dreams and the strategic, and the ones that are like, yes, yes, yes to everything that a client says. And then there's a small percentage of us that are like, okay, well, I actually want to dictate, like you said, what we're doing in our business and our freelance, and kind of restructuring that ship of where we're making those decisions and where we're going. There's such a big gap in that, and it's hard to like educate, even those who are just saying yes, 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 because he's like, come on, get on this side of the ship,
Yeah, totally. It's totally true. I mean, we're like built in school to be insecure and to turn into yes people, probably because of the same reason that we get critiqued and we accept whatever critique is given to us by our teacher and our peers as the truth, that we do need to make the changes. And so
it's
we're
not necessarily,
but we're conditioned to just receive any feedback and make changes to it. Okay, now are you happy? Now are you happy? Now are you happy? That's what we are as designers. And it's good to do with visual design work most of the time, but it's not good to do with our contracts and our pricing and those kinds of things that are the administrative side of our business. It's not good to say to the client, okay, will you green light this now? What if we let you pay us pay us in 6 months instead of next month? Then will you let me do it for you? It's crazy, but we're like that as designers. Way too many designers like that. They're
dictating the standard. It's like having a style guide or a brand guide for our own business and saying, but it's not necessarily the design aspect, but it's including everything that with our price points and, our forms or whatever, our checklist. It's having that our own this is our guide and you're not in control of it. This is my standard and I'm trying to uphold it.
Yeah. Yep. And the more professional and systematic you do it, the more the client will adhere to your expertise. And this is a thread through a lot of my content, but you've gotta be confident and structured and systematic in the way that you're doing everything so that the client doesn't try and take advantage of you in that administrative side of your business.